1967, the Malmstrom Incident. In 1967, Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana played a crucial role in America's nuclear deterrent by housing Minuteman intercontinental ballistic missiles. These missiles were capable of rapidly striking Russia, the former USSR, making them an essential part of the USA's nuclear deterrent strategy. However, on March 24, 1967, mysterious events occurred. Military patrols reported the presence of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, hovering over the missile silos. This sighting triggered the base alarm, and within minutes, all 10 missiles went from alert status, allowing immediate launch to a no-go position, a provision made in the event of imminent threat or UFO attack. According to the testimony of Officer Robert Salas, who was then Deputy Commander of Technicians at the base, the missiles in the base's control center were instantly deactivated by an unknown force from a distance, without any direct attack or loss of life. This deactivation left the base totally vulnerable and defenseless against UFOs, which were still flying over the missile silos. Shortly afterwards, the UFOs disappeared, and the control center became fully operational again. This incident, which was widely reported in the media, raised serious questions within the U.S. military command. The fact that the base's entire military deterrent had been neutralized by UFOs from a distance called into question the credibility and effectiveness of the U.S. nuclear deterrent at the time. 1968. Have drill/have ferry/have donut program. Have drill/have ferry/have donut program. MiG-17F and MiG-21 era at Area 51. 1968 marked a crucial stage in the secret activities of Area 51 with the launch of the Have Drill, Have Ferry, and Have Donut program. These top-secret initiatives focused on the in-depth study of Soviet MiG-17F and MiG-21 fighters. This chapter delves into the intricacies of these classified programs, revealing the concerted effort at the heart of Area 51 to understand and counter the Soviet Union's technological advances. Cold War context: the perpetual quest for technological advantage. At the height of the Cold War, the USA and the Soviet Union were vying for a decisive technological advantage. Fighter aircraft were at the heart of this frantic race, and the Soviet MiG-17F and MiG-21 represented major technological challenges. Thus, in-depth study of these aircraft was imperative to anticipate enemy tactics and strengthen American air capabilities. Have Drill program. MiG-17F under the microscope. The objective of the Have Drill program was to thoroughly analyze the MiG-17F, a second-generation Soviet fighter. Teams of experts based at Area 51 disassembled, examined, and evaluated every component of the aircraft. The data gathered revealed the MiG-17F's design secrets, offering vital tactical advantages. Have Ferry. MiG-21s acquired for in-depth examination. The Have Ferry program was deployed to acquire MiG-21s, a more advanced evolution of Soviet fighters. Special Area 51 teams were tasked with retrieving these aircraft from overseas. This paved the way for in-depth evaluations, enabling us to understand the latest Soviet technological advances and identify potential weak points. Have Donut. Intelligence fusion for strategic advantage. Have Donut played a crucial role in consolidating information from the Have Drill and Have Ferry programs. The data collected was meticulously analyzed, providing valuable insights for the development of countermeasures and improvements in the design of U.S. fighter aircraft. This has significantly enhanced the capability of the U.S. Air Force. Secrets of Area 51, Guardian of Advanced Knowledge. Area 51, in the middle of the Nevada desert, served as a bastion for these classified programs. It housed the researchers, engineers, and analysts who worked in total secrecy to manipulate, understand, and adapt the technologies discovered during the MiG-17F and MiG-21 evaluations. The base has continued to play an essential role in preserving America's technological edge. Conclusion: Area 51, a key player in the technology race. This chapter concludes by emphasizing that Area 51 remains a key player in the history of secret military technologies. The Have Drill, Have Ferry, and Have Donut programs helped maintain America's technological edge during the Cold War, illustrating the crucial importance of Area 51 in preserving national security and American air superiority. 1969, landing on the Moon, Apollo 11. Apollo 11, myth or reality? 1969 witnessed a historic moment when the Apollo 11 mission landed on the Moon. However, over the decades, conspiracy theories have emerged, calling into question the veracity of this historic feat. This chapter explores the various allegations and questions that persist, including technical challenges, cinematic influences, and doubts surrounding the crossing of the Van Allen belt, as well as the holding of the Scotch tape in the lunar environment. Apollo 11, a celebrated achievement, a contested myth. The Apollo 11 landing on the Moon in 1969 remains a major symbol of the conquest of space and the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union. However, some question the reality of this feat, suggesting that it may have been an elaborate setup to strengthen America's position in the Cold War. Film influences: Operation Avalanche and Capricorn 1. Films such as Operation Avalanche, which explored the possibility of a staged lunar landing, and Capricorn 1, which staged a fake Mars landing, helped fuel speculation around the Apollo 11 mission. These cinematic works cast doubt on the feasibility of creating scenarios for fake space missions. Technical challenges raised by skeptics. Skeptics put forward technical arguments to support their doubts about the authenticity of the lunar landing. Crossing the Van Allen belt, a region of intense radiation surrounding the Earth, is often cited as an insurmountable challenge for the time. Skeptics wonder how the astronauts were able to fly over this zone without suffering severe radiation damage. The mystery of lunar scotch and dust. Another persistent question concerns the material used during the lunar landing, in particular the Scotch tape. Some skeptics wonder how the tape could have adhered in the supposedly inhospitable lunar environment with its fine, abrasive dust. This raises questions about the stability and resistance of materials in extreme lunar conditions. Conclusion: between historical fact and conspiracy theories. In conclusion, the Apollo 11 moon landing remains a widely accepted historical achievement. However, conspiracy theories persist, fueled by technological and cinematic doubts. This chapter highlights the complexity of navigating between established historical facts and the questions raised by conspiracy theories, offering a nuanced perspective on this iconic event in space exploration. 1970, Project RAN, Stargate. Remote exploration and the frontiers of perception. The period between 1970 and 1995 witnessed Project RAN, also known as Stargate, a classified research program that ventured into the realms of extrasensory perception and remote exploration. This chapter delves into the details of this mysterious initiative, exploring the origins, key players, experiments conducted, military applications, controversial end of the project, and its legacy on understanding the frontiers of human perception. The origins of the RAN project. In search of the unexplored. Project RAN emerged against a backdrop of fascination with human psychic abilities. In the 1970s, there was considerable interest in parapsychological research. The aim of the RAN project was to explore the possibility that individuals endowed with psychic faculties might be able to access remote information, thus opening up unprecedented possibilities for exploration. Key players, pioneers of extrasensory perception. Project RAN brought together a group of exceptional individuals, often referred to as viewers or remote viewers, with remarkable psychic skills. These individuals were selected for their ability to perceive information beyond normal sensory limits, making them pioneers in the field of extrasensory perception. RAN Project experiments, beyond the boundaries of the invisible. Project RAN participants were engaged in remote viewing sessions, attempting to access unknown targets located at considerable distances. These targets could be specific locations, past or future events, or even hidden objects. The results of these experiments were documented and analyzed to assess the accuracy and validity of the perceived information. Military applications and intelligence. Strategic advantage in sight. Project RAN was not simply psychic exploration, but had direct implications for military and intelligence activities. Remote viewer capabilities were envisaged as an innovative means of obtaining sensitive information on enemy sites or activities, potentially providing a strategic advantage. The end of the RAN project, between success and controversy. Although Project RAN was a notable success, it did not escape controversy. Doubts persisted as to the reliability of information gathered by psychic means, and the project was declassified in the 1990s. The end of the project sparked debate about the validity of ESP research. RAN Project legacy, beyond the limits of human perception. In conclusion, the RAN project has left a complex and intriguing legacy. It opened up perspectives on the capacities of human consciousness and questioned the boundaries between reality and the paranormal. Although declassified, Project RAN continues to influence research into human consciousness and remains an enigma in the exploration of the frontiers of human perception. 1971, Intel 4004. Intel 4004, a technological breakthrough from elsewhere? The year 1971 remains a crucial date in the history of computing, with the launch of the first commercial microprocessor, the Intel 4004. However, intriguing theories persist as to the origin of this technological breakthrough, suggesting possible extraterrestrial inspiration or assistance from the 1947 Roswell incident. This chapter explores the circumstances surrounding the Intel 4004 and speculation about possible alien influence in its development. The microprocessor revolution, the emergence of Intel 4004. In 1971, Intel introduced the Intel 4004, a single-chip microprocessor that ushered in the era of the personal computer. This invention played a key role in the miniaturization of computers and opened the way to a multitude of technological applications. However, the circumstances surrounding its creation still intrigue curious minds. Extraterrestrial inspirations, an enigmatic theory. Some researchers and conspiracy theorists theorize that the Intel 4004 may be linked to extraterrestrial inspiration. According to this theory, advanced technological elements recovered at Roswell could have been retro-engineered over the years, ultimately contributing to the design of the innovative microprocessor. This idea raises questions about the possibility of alien assistance in Earth's technological advancement. Roswell and reverse engineering, a complexly debated connection. The Roswell incident of 1947 continues to generate debate and speculation. Proponents of the extraterrestrial theory claim that alien technology was recovered from the crash site, paving the way for secret reverse engineering projects. If this hypothesis is true, the Intel 4004 could be one of the fruits of these secret efforts. Rapid technological progress, alien assistance, or natural advancement. The speed with which technological advances, such as the Intel 4004, emerged in the years following the Roswell incident raises questions. Some wonder whether this could be attributed to extraterrestrial assistance. The theory suggests that extraterrestrials may have shared technological knowledge, accelerating technological progress on Earth. Conclusions. Between mystery and human progress. In conclusion, the mystery surrounding the origin of the Intel 4004 persists. While the theory of alien influence remains speculative, it highlights the mysteries and unresolved questions associated with the Roswell incident, and how major technological advances can sometimes seem beyond human comprehension. This chapter invites us to explore these mysteries, while highlighting the fundamental role of the Intel 4004 in the development of modern technology. 1970 Apollo 13. Apollo 13, between space drama and engineering miracles. The year 1970 remains etched in the history of space exploration with the Apollo 13 mission, an adventure that transformed a planned space voyage to the moon into a fierce struggle for survival in space. This chapter explores in detail the dramatic events, the challenges faced by the crew, and the engineering miracles that enabled the mission's successful return to Earth. Background to Apollo 13, the third attempt to walk on the moon. Apollo 13 was originally planned as NASA's third manned lunar mission. The crew of James Lovell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes were to follow in the footsteps of previous missions and explore the lunar surface. However, fate had an unexpected twist. Critical incident: explosion on board the service module. On April 13, 1970, some 200,000 miles from Earth, an oxygen tank exploded inside the Apollo 13 service module. The explosion caused extensive damage and quickly turned the mission into a struggle for survival. The crew was forced to take refuge in the lunar module, designed for 2 people instead of 3 and with limited resources. The challenges of survival in space: limited resources and extreme temperatures. Aboard the lunar module, the crew faced unprecedented challenges. Resources, including oxygen, electricity, and heat, were limited. The extreme temperatures of space added a layer of complexity to the situation. Astronauts had to conserve every resource to increase their chances of survival. The miracles of ground engineering, collaborating to save lives. While the crew struggled in space, a team of NASA engineers and scientists on Earth were racing against time to find solutions. Innovative plans were devised to save resources on board the lunar module, including manual adjustments to air purification systems and creative adaptations to maximize efficiency. The heroic return, an act of perseverance and ingenuity. Finally, after many tense days of uncertainty, the crew managed to maneuver the lunar module and use the power of the command module to return to Earth. On April 17, 1970, Apollo 13 splashed down in the Pacific Ocean, marking a heroic return that stunned the world. Conclusions: Apollo 13, a turning point in space history. The Apollo 13 mission remains a milestone in space history, illustrating human resilience in the face of adversity. This chapter highlights not only the critical moments of the mission, but also the heroic acts and engineering feats that saved the crew. The story of Apollo 13 remains an eternal reminder of human determination and the ability to overcome obstacles, even in the most extreme conditions of space.